Hey, what's up, folks? Alex Rodriguez here of Bay Cities Construction. It's another episode of the Construction Show. Today, we're talking bathroom remodel trends for 2022. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're going to start the show, and I got Wendy in studio. Got an awesome show for you guys today. My name's Alex Rodriguez, reminding you, you don't need a contractor. You need a team of pros. Hey folks, Alex Rodriguez here. We're going to get started with episode 48 of the Bay Cities Construction Show. So today we're going to be talking about bathroom remodel trends 2022. In studio, I've got Wendy Hurst, our talented designer. We also have a few more segments that we added to the show to make it fun and interesting. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you like and subscribe. We have Wendy's picks. We also are going to talk about some of the bathrooms that we've done, some of the looks that we're anticipating for 2022, and it's going to be a really cool show. We also have a giveaway during the last segment here. We're going to have Alex's trivia questions. So we're going to be adding a trivia question to every show. It's going to be fun. Obviously a construction trivia question. So if you haven't done so already, guys, please make sure you look at episode 47 for the kitchen and home remodeling trends of 2022. Wendy and I covered quite a bit of content on that, and hopefully you'll find it interesting and insightful. So you can also catch it on replay on Facebook and YouTube. So tonight's episode, bathroom remodel trends for 2022. We got Wendy's picks and Alex's Trivia Corner. And of course, like every show, at the end, we answer your questions. You can post your questions or you can email your questions. But if you haven't done so already, please make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. And you can also post your questions after the show, and Brian and I will answer them accordingly. Okay? Hey, thanks for joining us on another episode. Let's get into it, Wendy. Let's talk about bathroom remodel trends for 2022. And let's get we'll start with faucets, right? That's kind of a good starting point. So let's get into it with the faucets. So Wendy, what do we got here?
So I think the trends, some of these started in 2021, 2020, but they continue to be trending, and that is matte black fixtures. People are liking the matte black. You just have to keep in mind that if you live in a place where you have hard water, you're going to have to be, really meticulously cleaning those because you do get the white spots. But it is kind of a fun look. Very modern looking, clean lines, available from Kohler, Moen, other brands, Brizo.
So do you? I think a lot of people have questions about like price points. Do you think something like this faucet, is it a mid, low, or high price point?
The Kohler is mid. I mean, it's not something you don't want to go to Home Depot or Lowe's and pick up your fixtures. I know a lot of people think, I don't want to spend a lot more. But if you spend a little bit more on them, they just last so much longer. If you buy the ones from Home Depot or Costco, you're going to be needing to change those every couple of years. They just don't hold up as well as the products that they carry a little bit higher end. Like now, Kohler's a well-priced one. Moen, Brizo is kind of their Lexus, and it's a little more expensive, but really nice-looking stuff, and it lasts really long.
So you think this is kind of like a mid price point? So what is this, like maybe $300 to $400 range price point?
Probably.
I think so. What about this one? Tell us a little bit about this faucet.
This was for one of our clients. They wanted a masculine look. They did a dark marble, but the rest of the bathroom is very light, and they picked matte black. We did the trim in brushed nickel just so that it wasn't so much contrast with the lighter tile we had, but it looks really nice, and it gives you some contrast.
Okay, cool. Now here is the next one we're going to talk about is I know that for some people this may be a new color, but it's kind of a remake of an old color from the beautiful 1980s. So tell us about this one. What do we got here?
So gold is another color that is trending right now in faucets, also accessories, light fixtures. So if that's a look you want, it's a very, I think people feel it has kind of a rich look to it, and it's a little different. I mean, honestly, trending still is the brushed nickel, and that is going to stay for a long time because it just is timeless, and it doesn't water spot as easily, and it doesn't, peel or anything. But yep, gold is back.
Gold is back. Now, I have to tell you, at first, when I first started seeing these faucets, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I wasn't all that warmed up to them. Maybe the shape isn't for everybody. It's pretty modern looking, and it's also a touchless, which adds another level of complexity to the equation. Because you have electronics now, and they haven't been around yet. I mean, initially the first touchless faucets were in the kitchen, right? For kitchen faucets. So this is kind of a new phase going into the bathroom with an electronic faucet. So I think time will tell.
Yeah, it's the clean lines. You don't have to have the handles, and also when you touch the handles, they drip, and they get on your countertops. So then you have to wipe your countertops down. So, yeah, you just have to hit it in the right place so it turns on for you.
Right on.
You've all used those in public restrooms, so
this is kind of something,
how frustrating they are.
This is a little bit closer to what you'd see in a public restroom, with the little sensor at the base of it.
And this is brushed nickel. Like I said, brushed nickel is going to stay in style just because it doesn't show water spots as much. It is timeless. It it looks good with all the grays and the whites that are very popular right now.
It's definitely a very flexible look.
Yes.
For sure.
I'd say that's what the majority of people are doing.
Yeah, 100%. I 100% agree with that. All right, so 2022, kind of, I think this bathroom encapsulates a lot of elements that I think are going to be popular moving forward.
So the wood look porcelain tile is still very in style. It gives you that wood look, but it's very durable. It's waterproof. It doesn't get damaged by the water, and it's just a fun look. It brings in a little bit of warmth, because I feel like when people are doing these all white cabinets and white countertops and gray, something needs to bring the warmth in there so that it feels more comfortable instead of being very stark, and which if you have too much white, it just starts looking like a hospital.
Starts looking clinical for sure.
Yeah.
I think for houses here in the South Bay by the beach, that's like a theme, right? Like a spa type beach house. That vibe, with the whiter cabinets, the lighter colored walls.
Yes.
Last week we talked about paint colors, and I think that this type of a flooring, along with the whiter cabinets, gives you a lot of flexibility in how you dress everything up around the cabinets, right? Because historically, it's always been the countertops were kind of the focal point in many cases. Like in the previous bathroom, the darker countertops were very, very strong, like as far as a visual. So when you have to have things, I think you have to have layers of warmth, right, along the way. Otherwise, one overpowers the other too much.
And you need a little bit of contrast. If everything's all the same color and tone, it's just, it's boring.
Yeah, 100%. So tell us a little bit about this one. The view is very beachy.
Yeah, this is another wood look tile. And one of the things that you can do is you can add 2 different size planks. They've used a wide plank and a narrow plank here to kind of give it a fun look. The light colors, the beachy, especially around here, everybody wants the light colors. And honestly, it's hard to find the real wood in that really light color. So they're doing a great job of it in the wood look tile.
No, the wood look tile over the last 15 years has gotten extremely nice. It's a big improvement from when we started off. Here's another example of that. This bathroom we put in Torrance, and you picked this out for the customers.
I did. In the picture, it looks a little more, it has a little more gray tone in real life, but sometimes pictures don't give it. But I mean, it looks like it's quarter sawn, it's rustic looking. So it really does look like real wood. And they take several pictures, and that, you know, you don't just have like a couple different designs. You can see the knots, you can see the veining in it. So
and
yeah,
the saw cut. Now the other thing I think that makes it viable, the other feature of this tile that makes it viable for a bathroom is the fact that it has a texture, it has a grip, right? You're not.
It does.
I mean, you should always put down a towel or a placemat, when you're getting out of the shower. But as far as just walking barefoot on it, it feels nice. It feels like you have some grip. It's not super slippery.
Yes, and Arizona tile, actually, they have a whole line of the wood look tiles that are anti-slip. They have a little grit in them. So you can even use them in commercial uses or on your patios.
Oh, that's good to know. I'm pretty excited about laying more of this type of tile down. I think people really like it. I think they're going to continue to like it. Now, the next series of pictures are things that I didn't see coming. If you would have asked me 3 or 4 years ago, what's going to be trending, 36 to 48 months into the future, I never would have thought that we would have this come back. So tell us about that.
Yeah, the bold prints on wallpaper, bright colors. It's how people are adding a little bit of color. My personal opinion, I would only use this in a powder room. I don't think it's a good idea to put it in a room that has a shower, because the steam, it's only going to last a little while. It's going to start peeling up, and then it doesn't look good. So my suggestion is to keep it in a room, like a powder room, where you're not using it all the time. Or
a master bathroom that's huge. Like if you have volume and great ventilation, you got good windows in there. Maybe you have two vent fans, or at least 2 windows. If you have a good flow of air, I think that may be viable. So like this bathroom on the left, right? It looks like it's where the freestanding tub is. It looks, you got high ceilings, and I think you may be able to get away with something like that there. But I agree with you 100%. On a smaller bathroom, like the stuff that's mostly down here in the South Bay, it's going to be tough. That wallpaper is going to look haggard.
Yes.
Pretty quick.
Unless you want it just for a little while. I mean, some people do it just for an accent, to have something fun, and they plan to change it out in, a couple years. But you can also just do it on one wall, and that also can sometimes just give you a little extra pop, but not overpowering like the one on the left.
Yeah, I agree. Now, it's interesting that you're starting to see these very bold patterns, right? Geometric shapes. In the previous one, you had kind of a very strong contrast, black and white wallpaper. Really, it's pretty interesting. We went through maybe like 10 years where people wanted just very slick, smooth walls.
Yep. They
wanted to get rid of the texture. Like, I don't know how many almost every bathroom that we remodeled in the last 10 years that had knockdown on it from the 80s and the 90s has been smoothed over. So to go to like a, pretty extensive pattern is, it's cool. I don't know. I kind of like it. I think it'll work.
It's really personal preference. Some people like bold shapes and colors. Other people want it very subtle.
Yeah. Now, I want to kind of draw people's attention over to the vanity here. You could see the way that these doors are set. That's probably some of the most expensive woodworking you're going to get. Okay, so there's not so much that it's a shaker door, but the inset doors are extremely expensive. It takes probably twice as much labor to do that and to set them correctly. So just keep that in mind. If you like that look, if you want the vanity to look like furniture, that inset look is the way to go, because it'll get you there. And if you make them out of natural wood, where we stain them and stuff, it'll add warmth also, but it's going to be expensive. It's not going to be something that's going to be cheap. So I think overall this vanity is pretty tip top, and you've got the.
It's a great look. We really don't do it very often. We're doing mostly European doors because, like he said, they're less expensive, but you can get a similar look.
Yeah, you can definitely get the shaker look. It's just a matter of, do you want a face frame? So for those of you who can't see, that wood the wood that is in between the drawers, this is a face frame cabinet, a European cabinet. There is no face frame. It's basically you get the inside dimension of the box, whereas you have these restricting components here, right? So it's just different. It's a different look. So we can make you both. All right, here's something I haven't seen since the mid 2000s, right? The full slab look.
So some people do like the big slabs. That way they don't have grout joints. That's a big thing that gets brought up is I don't want a lot of grout to get dirty. The one thing that is really coming into trend now is the large porcelain slabs. So they're made out of porcelain, so they're thinner, they don't weigh as much, and they don't cost as much. Well, they can cost as much, but the labor is less because they aren't as thick and heavy, and it's easier to cut them. But they're doing a lot of porcelain slabs now that you can put on the walls.
I happen to dig this look. I think it's super luxury. If you like that look, you'll probably have a much bigger bathroom than what's in this picture. The porcelain slabs is kind of exciting because you can get consistency in the look. So if you get 4 or 5 of them, yes, you don't have to be paranoid about getting book matches and stuff like that, and getting the slabs from the same batch.
Yeah, if you go back to that in the corner, that's a book match where the 2 pieces match up, and they do. In natural stone, you can't always find it. You have to find a piece that's from the same block that's been cut, and it has to be the piece right next to it. The porcelain slabs, they purposefully do make them book match so that you can easily get them.
I mean, and the cost is, it's probably a third. If you were to get some of this marble that's this cut like a Calcutta, like this stuff here, you could spend $7,000 a slab, and have to throw away maybe a quarter of it, because it's not perfect. You're not going to get a big rectangle.
Right.
You'll have pieces of it that are broken, or you'll have
fissures and
exactly
and chips,
imperfections,
yeah,
staining. Sometimes you get some mineral in there. You get iron, and
right,
it'll give a rusty look. So
that happens a lot with the marble. Once it's getting wet all the time, you get kind of a rust.
100%. I really don't recommend marble inside of a shower. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. I mean, if you have a shower that you don't use very often, maybe, but there's minerals in there that with the exposure to the water, they start to turn
and they mold and mildew too.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think if people are willing to put up with the expense of maybe every 3 or 4 months coming in and sealing it, yes, having it professionally
cleaning
sealed,
it and sealing it,
I think you can make it look good for a long time, but you're going to be spending a few $1,000s a year just to keep it going.
It's high maintenance. Yeah, sure. This has a great look. They did the tub, deck, and apron all in stone, and that's a compound mitered edge. Sorry about that. That gives you that nice clean look where it looks like the slab is just continuing around the edge.
Yeah. So what Wendy's talking about, if you look at the horizontal section at the tub deck, and then at the end of the tub, you see how the veining carries over. That's the work of a master. You really need, yes, a tip-top master stonemason to be able to get that look just right. So pretty cool. Looks like something you'd see in New York, like in a New York hotel.
That's an expensive bathroom.
That is an expensive bathroom. So let's go to the next one here. So this is kind of what you're dealing with here. You're looking with a natural slab. You're basically... This slab's actually in really good shape. A lot of them come with the corners missing, big chunks, mm-hmm, missing, and like I said, a bunch of different mineral deposits throughout that you got to cut out. They just won't look nice. Now, if you have a bathroom that has ceilings like this one, then I think you can get away with a little bit of wallpaper. But if you look at the tile treatments on the walls, even on the stuff that's outside of the wet areas, tell us a little bit about that. What direction did the designer take in this?
Honestly, most people now are tiling all the way to the ceiling. I never do showers that aren't tiled all the way to the ceiling anymore. You used to see them where they do the tub showers and they would just go up as far as they needed to go for the shower head. But I think it looks good to bring it all the way to the ceiling. The other thing is this room, they tiled all the walls, pretty much all of the walls. And then on that little partition wall between the tub and the shower, they did a really fun mosaic decorative tile. So it adds an accent, and it gives you just a focal wall. And then on the floor, they did a wood look tile in a herringbone pattern, which is, again, another thing that's very popular.
I really dig if you have some blues and this is kind of, we've done some bathrooms that have some blues in it here by the beach. I think you can get away with the gold. The blue and the gold looks good.
It does look good together.
It's good. They brought the chandelier in. Look at the trim for the shower head. I think you can get away with it like that. But that brush gold, I think it's doable.
And the gold gives you a little bit of warmth. When you're doing a lot of grays and whites, it can be very cold and very, those are cool colors. So bringing that in just kind of gives you that little contrast of a little bit of warmth.
100%. I think they did a great job with this one. The towels that are hanging, the hardware's covered by the towel itself, but I think that's not only is it a great spot for the towels there as you get out of the shower, but the color, the having some gold, the gold accent pieces, the towel bar or
and then they also have a towel warmer on the other wall.
Yeah,
doesn't really get cold enough to need them, but believe me, I have had clients that have wanted them.
It is a nice luxury. When people ask me, when people ask me about a towel warmer, it's a nice luxury in the sense that it gives you the total spa experience because it's the same sensation. Your towels are as warm as when you first bring them out of the dryer, and they're nice and fluffy and warm, and it's a nice luxury.
If you have an extra $1,000 laying around, get a towel warmer.
That's right. We got to wire it up for you, but and if you have the wall space, that's the other tricky part. You have to have the wall space to be able to do it.
Because if you have to walk too far to get to it, now you've gotten cold getting there.
That's right. And these towel warmers, you can put two towels on it, no problem. It'll work. They work on a little timer and stuff. And anyway, if you have more questions about the towel warmers, please go ahead and post them in the comments below. That's kind of a cool little feature to talk about. So this next one is, we're kind of jumping on this spa experience type of a master bathroom. So this next one has a steam shower, and this one for the low cost of $175,000 comes with a pretty couple. If you want to have your bathroom decorated by good-looking people, so I think that we will see this. We'll see more and more of these bathrooms, right? As people are at home and are trying to get that spa experience in their place, the steam shower is a pretty cool feature.
Yeah, I think this last couple years you couldn't get to the gym, and so people missed those types of features. If you notice in here, they used a wood look tile inside the steam shower. So you can also use that wood look tile on walls. I've used it on showers before, and it kind of has a fun look. It gives you that kind of feeling like it's like the teak or something. But
yeah.
So that's another way to use that wood look tile.
So if you notice here to the left where the two candles are in the recess on the wall, we can do that. That we can do a recess on our wall. You can just put like stuff that is handy, right? Not necessarily clutter, but things that you would use that would be handy that you want at an arm's reach, right? And we can put that in the shower also too, So some of these showers, they have aromatherapy, they have light therapy, they have all this kind of cool stuff. And we actually did one of these steam showers last year. Our good friends over in Torrance let us remodel their master, and we made the shower twice as big. The shower was relatively, maybe not twice as big, but
it was pretty big, but we pushed into the hallway closets and gave them a nice bench that they could sit in, and there's a niche in there that Alex is talking about where you can put your shampoo and stuff. We put a really nice big one. We used a combination of a 12 by 24 tile on the walls, and then the seat had a big 24 by 48 piece so that you don't have a lot of grout joints and it's one large piece. So it came out really nice.
All right, so I'm gonna do a little stump of the people watching. For those of you guys watching, how many of you think that this is a natural stone versus, go ahead and post in the comments below, natural stone inside of the shower tile material, natural stone, or a porcelain? Let's see how many of you guys get the answer right. So we have tile on the ceiling up there, right? Now, why don't you tell the audience why we do that?
When we do a steam shower, we have to tile all the walls, the ceiling, because you don't want your ceiling to get soggy and the paint to peel off. And if you notice on this one, the shower enclosure goes all the way to the ceiling, and it has a little vent up at the top where you can tip it and let out some of the steam.
And we put in lighting in there. There's definitely a sealed can that you can put so you can have some light inside of the shower. A lot of people ask us that, hey, can we put in lighting in there even though we're going to get a steam shower?
Yeah, this is a little deceiving, this picture, because you're seeing the reflection of the light that's in the room, but there is also a recessed can inside.
Now, they also have a good amount of wall space. This would have been a perfect spot to put a heated towel bar if they wanted. You see, you need power. You got to run a 20 amp circuit to it,
right?
And they could have definitely done that. So, just something to consider. It's just an added little luxury, and well, it's just more money, at the end. But we're in the business of getting people what they want. I'm not here to sell people stuff that they don't want, but they wanted, when they came to us and they talked about like what their vision was for the space, they're like, hey, we want this to be a spa situation.
It's very spa-like. This one, it made a great transformation. We did a jacuzzi tub that has chromotherapy in it. That was something that she asked for. She wanted the jets and the chromotherapy, and jacuzzi makes one of these. So we did use a slab on the deck and on the sides of this jacuzzi.
Yeah, we brought it up, 24 inches, 18 inches, it looks like, for the backsplash on the tub.
I just brought it straight across from the backsplash that was on the countertop and lined it up.
That's right. That looks really nice. So here's for those of you that are going to be responding to my stump question. Is this a slab, or is this natural stone, or is this porcelain? So you can see it. This is kind of a better close-up look. Now, one of the things that we're doing in the showers, per the request of our clients, is the grout lines, super tight grout lines. When you get a large dimension tile, highly recommend you do nice tight grout lines.
So mentioning that, if you are doing a porcelain tile that's large format, you cannot do it on the 50% offset like you can do a natural stone. It has to be either straight stacked or it has to be on a 1/3 offset. And that's just because when you're doing porcelain tile, when they kiln fire it, it can bow a little bit, and you don't want to have those little corners popping up. Otherwise, if you remember back in the 80s, everybody had big, giant grout joints. And that's because the first porcelain tiles, they had a lot of lippage and they were bowing. And so they finally realized if you do it on a 1/3 offset, you can get your grout joints tighter and not have that problem, because you don't want that little corner popping up.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, we also, the way that we install our tile is we float the walls. So we use a mortar bed. We don't use backer board. So those walls are plumb and square. And that you have to do that. If you're going to have tight grout lines, you have to have plumb and square walls. So I think we will leave them in suspense and answer the question at the end of the show about whether this was stone or porcelain. All right, so as we move forward to the next segment, I think that we're going to take a little quick break. We're going to cut to the break, and it's going to be Wendy's Picks when we come back. So don't go anywhere. We got more of the show.
Looking for a bathroom remodel in the Southern California and Los Angeles area? If you've shopped and you've looked at prices and have no clue where to start, let Bay Cities Construction get you started with a quote of get design, interior design, project scope, and know exactly what it will cost to get your bathroom remodeled. There is no guesswork and no need to shop around. Just take time out of the equation and get your new bathroom in 90 days. Get your estimate now at baycitiesconstruction.com. That's baycitiesconstruction.com.
Okay, guys, we're back. And now it's time for our new segment, Wendy's Picks. All right, Wendy, you picked all of these pictures, and you're going to tell us why you love these pictures and why they at home should love them too.
So this kind of ties in with what the trends are, and these are some of the trends that I personally like. I like the wood look tile set in a herringbone or a chevron pattern. It just gives it kind of a fun look and not just the boring, straight lines of the tile.
Now, this is awesome for an open floor plan, right? So if you've got an open kitchen floor plan, kitchen, dining room, kitchen, living room, a lot of those houses in PV estates have that kind of setup. Or if you're thinking about remodeling and knocking down a wall and you're going to have one big floor space.
Yes.
This would look awesome, right?
It looks awesome. And also what's fun is you can do this maybe in one, like some people will do it like just in the entryway and then they'll just have it going, just a regular wood pattern in other rooms. So you can make one room special by doing this. And keep it straight in the rest of the house.
I wonder if our guys could do this pattern with the SBC flooring, particularly like doing the border, like doing this setup here where then you have the herringbone that terminates. I'd be kind of curious to see
I
if we could do
haven't
that.
seen anybody doing it in SPC. I have seen them doing an engineered wood. A lot of the engineered wood companies come with them already cut like that. So this one is the chevron pattern. Which you have to cut it at an angle. The other bathroom that I showed you earlier, that was using a rectangular tile, and we do the herringbone.
Okay.
It's a little easier to do the herringbone because you don't have to cut the tile. But some of the companies are now coming out with them already, the shape to do the chevron floor.
Yeah, absolutely. What are the features of this picture do you like?
I really like how they did the walls with some texture instead of just painted. And then another trend is the black windows. We didn't really talk about that because we were talking about specifically bathrooms, but black windows are very popular right now too.
Yeah, and by the way, if you haven't checked that out, we have an episode of Pella windows that we can link in the description below. And those windows happen to be black. If you have a house in PV Estates or Rolling Hills, Rancho Palos Verdes or Rolling Hills Estates, PV Estates, those Pella black windows are allowed by the art jury if you're in the art jury zone. All right, let's talk about your picks for bathrooms.
So here's the one that I was talking about. We used a small rectangular tile that was wood look, and we put it in a herringbone pattern.
I dig this because you have a strong countertop. You have just a simple white cabinet. And then you kind of have like the layered look, the nice little kind of taupey, grayish floor. So you have a nice balance, right, of colors and shades.
Yes. And then also we did in here those are actually medicine cabinets where the mirrors are. Those are recessed into the wall, and they have lights. And if you open them up, they have also outlets inside where you can put your electric toothbrush and your razor, and they can be charging all the time. So that's another trend that's happening in bathrooms. A lot of people are using the medicine cabinets. Used to be always on the side of the wall. Mm-hmm. Now they're doing them on the back, and they have the lights, and they're very popular.
But now the quality of light when it's coming at you is a lot better too.
Oh, they have specialized in this, getting these lights for putting on makeup. And
now, are these Roburn or are these Kohlers?
These particular ones are Kohler.
Okay.
Roburn is really the one who started making them, but the Kohler ones are more affordable. Roburn is quite pricey, and Kohler has kind of knocked them off, and they come in at a little bit better price point.
Yeah, that's cool. I think everywhere that we've installed these, the people love them. I mean, look, well, let's be straight. It's a pretty crazy upcharge because you have to reset, you have to reframe the wall, you have to line it, you have to line up the medicine cabinet perfectly with the faucet, and then you got to get
electrical
and then you got to
outlets.
get electrical into it.
Yeah.
So it's not a cheap endeavor, but it's one of those things that it makes a difference between a regular bathroom model and a custom, right? And especially in a master suite, it's a big upgrade. It's a nice upgrade that you see every day. So Wendy, I think this bathroom came out awesome. What's the next pick?
Freestanding tubs. That's one of the trends that I really like because I feel like they're not as cumbersome as the jacuzzi tubs that have to have all the tile around them or the stone around them. And here in the South Bay, let's face it, we have small bathrooms, but a lot of times people want to have a shower and a tub. So what I like about these freestanding tubs is you can fit them in a little bit smaller area and you get to have your tub and your shower.
And it's deep. It's a deep soaker tub. So, I think back in the 80s when this whole jacuzzi tub thing kind of started, you had a heater that was integrated into the tub. These don't have that. No. So, you're going to limit your soak to maybe 20, 30 minutes, something like that. And
yeah, they're not really to have jets and things. It's more for people who like to soak in the tub. And they do have some, what's the word I'm looking for? Insulation, so that, you can put it in there and your water lasts for a little while.
Yeah. I mean, you can always let a little bit of water out and refresh with some hot water. Now, if you have a tankless, I would always recommend that if you're going to put in one of these soakers, you get a tankless. Okay?
Definitely.
If you don't have one already. Why? Because first of all, you're gonna waste a lot of water. The cold water that's in the line, number one, and then the second part is that you may run out of water if you have two people taking a shower in different bathrooms. So just consider that. Tankless, man, it's kind of the way to go now, and it's gotten really good. The prices of the tankless haven't really dropped per se, but the quality of the units and the longevity of the units is spectacular. So yeah, that's cool. The other thing I could kind of tell people is that, as we talk about money, these freestanding tubs, they're not cheap. If you look at a regular tub that's maybe anywhere between $800 and say $2,000. This is a totally different animal here. This is $5,000 to $7,000 for the tub, and then you got to deal with the plumbing. If you look at Wendy's pick in here, this is coming in from the wall, so all of that stuff has to be hidden. It's not cheap, but it doesn't look cheap. I mean, if you've got the money and you like this type of look, this is something that you should consider.
And we mostly use them in master bathrooms. So
yeah, 100%. So this is one that we did just as COVID was starting, and they had already purchased the tub and the faucets and stuff. This is a Hans Grohe faucet, and the tub is actually really cool. It's got kind of like an egg shape to it, and she ended up going with the geometry, which I don't know, maybe we were ahead of our time, because this was about a year and a half ago. This is one of my favorite bathrooms that we've done, and it's a trip. We have the wood look on the floor, we have the geometric shapes on the wall. So I think it took a little bit of time for this look to catch on.
Yeah,
like
it's taking off now.
It's definitely taking off. So this is actually a good segue to the next series of pictures we have on here.
So my next pick is the accent mosaics. I think there are a lot of great tiles out there. I believe this one is Ann Sachs or Walker Zanger, not sure. But they're beautiful, and I like to use them on the vanity wall, where you do it on the whole back of the vanity wall. You can inset your mirrors so that that mirror is not inset. But what I usually do is I'll take the Schluter and insert the mirrors so that you don't have to waste tile behind a mirror. The one on the left, those are Roburn medicine cabinets that are lighted. And see, they have done the mosaic all the way up to the ceiling as a focal wall. I also like doing them on the floors this on the right, they did it on the floor and then took it up the wall. What I like about the mosaics is you can do them on the floor, and then you can also use them on the shower pan inside the shower, because in the shower we need to use smaller tile to be able to get that, for it to graduate down and drain correctly. So it's kind of fun to have the whole floor look even. The other thing I like to do is a lot of the companies have mosaics that coordinate with their 12 by 24 tiles or 24 by 24 tiles. So you can use the larger format tile on the floor and then the matching mosaic on the shower floor. And it just gives it a nice continuous feel. It makes the bathroom feel larger than, when you break it up with a lot of different colors.
Yeah, I think that it also look in a condition where you have a good amount of floor space, and it just travels into like a nice size shower. Like if you have a 3.5 or 4 foot wide by 6 or 7 foot shower, and you're a lot, you have that, you just have the vastness, right? Enough square footage on the floor. It looks really, really cool. Definitely a spa-ish look. And just bringing people's attention back over to the Roburn mirrors on the left. Those have a touch feature where you just touch that little square on the bottom right of the mirror, and you kind of swipe your finger, and you'll get different intensities of light. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a cool thing. I think those things are probably twice as much as the Kohler.
They are. They're expensive.
They're crazy expensive, but they're cool as hell. So
those are probably about $1,500 each.
Yeah. So Kohler's what, like maybe 10?
They're $750. Well, I mean. Those are pretty big.
Yeah.
They're a little bit less. $750, $850.
Okay. I think it's a neat feature. For us, it's a bit of a nightmare to install it because we really have to measure carefully to line up the mirror with the sink. It's not an easy.
And then if you have light fixtures above, then those have to be set. I know every time I specify something like that, the guys are like, "What?
Why did you do that?"
Now we have to bring the vents from the plumbing around it and make sure that we don't have it going through the middle.
So this is
they cuss me when I tell them we're doing
I think they get a little grumpy for sure. This one's even worse, right? So
wall mounted
and recessed in. That would be a double whammy of difficulty for the installers. So it's just a matter. We'll get it done, but it's just a matter of explaining to them how. We want everything laid out so they don't have to rerun it twice.
And that kind of brings us to how we do things at Bay Cities too, is that we decide all of the fixtures. We decide all of your tile, countertops, cabinets before we give you a price and before we start building it, so that we can plan ahead for these types of things.
Yeah, so the pricing that we get from the vendors too is for this stuff, right? So installing a deck, a traditional faucet on the deck is a way different price than installing it coming out of the wall. And this particular one features exposed a trap. That trap, I think on its own is probably like $250. So it's a different animal, right? So the idea is that we after you're done designing it, we can get the pricing for it based on the stuff that the customer picked.
Exactly.
So we're not going to be,
no surprises later.
Yeah. I mean, Lord knows there's enough stuff to deal with that's inside the wall that we don't know. I mean, at least we have the proper pricing for the stuff we know we are going to install. Well, this is the last of your picks.
Oh, it is.
The next segment is Alex's Trivia. So this is part of our new segment, trying to make the show a little bit more fun. And this is the part where you get involved. And, of course, we're going to get to questions and answers later. But right now, the question is, what region had flushing toilets or a flushing sewer system? Was it first found in Europe, A, B, South America, or C, Asia? So please post in the comments below. I'm offering a free Starbucks gift card for the first person that gets the right answer. Now, this little setup over here reminds me of a Southwest Airlines end seat situation here. Pretty close. And I never imagined how people would sit in this thing and Like, what kind of conversations go on when you have a group bathroom situation? Anyway, please go ahead and post your comments below. That's Alex's trivia. We are done with that. Let's get to the people's questions, Brian. Let's drill down on some questions. Brian, we got any questions from the folks?
Yes, Alex, we got some questions here.
Shoot with the first one.
So the first question is regarding bathrooms. They want to know, are gray bathrooms outdated?
Oh, that's a Wendy question.
Nope, gray is still going strong. We've got cool grays, we've got warm grays, and I think it's going to stay for a while.
I think you're right.
Very popular.
100%. And we've got a new series of gray, this taupey gray thing. It's kind of started kind of mid or late last year. I think it's going to keep going.
Yes.
Another question here for Wendy is, what are the bath trends I should avoid?
Bath trends you should avoid. Like I mentioned, I would kind of stay away from wallpaper in rooms that have a lot of steam in them. And let's see, what else?
No glass tile in the shower. We will not install glass tile in the shower. No way, no how, no thank you.
If you noticed in the one bathroom that we did, I did the glass tile on the decorative wall, which was the backsplash for the countertop and the tub, but not in the shower. If we do it in the shower, it's just like maybe a little bit in the niche. I can
Why do we not install glass tile in showers, Wendy?
Yeah, it doesn't do well in showers. The other thing is, another thing to stay away is natural stone in the shower, especially on the shower pan, because it does, when the water gets in it, we talked about it, it molds, it grows mildew. It also, the rust can stain it as well. So those are kind of some of my things I say stay away from.
100%. It's like a sponge. The natural stone is like a sponge. It'll start growing all sorts of stuff that you don't want.
Okay. Another question here for Wendy also about small bathrooms. Are there any trends for small bathrooms?
Got a lot of small bathrooms down here in the South Bay.
We do have a lot of small bathrooms. I say in a small bathroom, just keep it very simple. Do a very simple vanity. Keep your colors light so that it's not like a little cave. But we've done some fun bathrooms. We can help you with a small bathroom.
We just finished one that was really cool in kind of where Torrance and Redondo Beach meet up over off of PV Boulevard. That one that we did the
in
mosaic.
A condo.
Yeah, in the condo. We didn't do a door on that one, right? In the shower.
Right.
So it's just glass panels. You walk in and out. That's kind of cool because it adds functionality. You don't have to worry about the swing. So if you have the geometry right, if you can put the shower head in the right spot, and you can avoid putting in the door, the swinging door for the shower, I think that's definitely kind of a cool little takeaway.
Another thing you can do now is they're doing the shower enclosures that are like a barn door.
Yep.
They have the barn door hardware. That's another thing that's trending that we didn't even get into bathrooms, but it looks very much like the barn doors, and then when the doors slide, they don't open up into the room. So that also helps in a small bathroom.
And it looks high end. I mean, the hardware looks really cool. So you have a fixed panel on one side and you have the one door that slides back and forth.
Yes.
It's tip top. You'll have an overlap too, so you don't have to worry about the water getting out. Actually has less gaps than some of the other ones. You just have to angle the shower head and have the right kind of shower head so you don't have overspray kicking out.
Correct.
Another question for, I think it's for tile floors. Somebody wants to know, can you get colored grout? Is it a good idea?
There are all different colors of grout. When it comes to using a white tile, I don't recommend using a colored grout, because what happens is it kind of seeps into the edges of the tile and it just doesn't look really crisp and clean. A lot of times people will ask me, they say, oh, they want that farmhouse look with the white field tile and then like a black grout. Personally, I don't recommend that. What I do recommend, though, is like you would have seen in that shower that we did with the gray tile, I like to match the tile to the grout so that you don't really see the grout. So for me, rather than a colored specifically, is doing the same tone as the background of the tile. That way the grout joint just disappears. And if you'll notice in good pictures, like the pictures of the wood look tile, you don't notice the grout if you use a color that is as close to the tile as possible. And for me, that's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, it disappears into the background, right? Because it's very similar to the base color of the tile. Now, I think if people were to do like a backsplash and they have a geometric shape and it's not something that's going to be exposed to, splatter or dirt and grime on a regular basis, I think you can get away with a contrasting. I don't know that I'd go black on white, but you may be able to go like a darker gray on
Yes.
the white or something like that.
Really, it just depends on the tile.
Yes.
It depends on the look you want. But yes, there are hundreds of grout choices.
So one of the things that Wendy was talking about is you have to have, if you're gonna have a contrasting tile color with the grout, you have to have a finished edge on the edge of that tile.
Yes.
So that you're able to have a clean distinction between the grout and the tile. Otherwise, it just won't be clean. It won't be a straight edge. And if you were to pick a black grout, it's hard to make that look really, really tip top. So you want a material that wraps either a porcelain or a ceramic that wraps around the edge of the tile. So it's not an easy thing. You cut a lot of options down, I think, if you're trying to go for that look.
Also, the darker grouts, again, are going to, if you have hard water, they are going to discolor as well.
Yeah, you'll have to deal with that, or you have to get a water softener or something like that.
Yes.
What else we got?
I think this one's a question for Alex. Somebody wants to know, can I have multiple exhaust fans in my bathroom? What about those fans that have integrated Bluetooth speakers? Do you recommend them?
So you can definitely have multiple fans, and sometimes it's a good idea to do it, especially if you have a steam shower. Maybe you want to put 2 of those things in. Look, regarding multiple function vent fans, I always say that if you want a vent fan and you want it to work well, just get a single function fan, like a Panasonic unit that has a 100 CMF or something like that. Has a moisture sensor on it, turns on and off, and that's it. Because generally speaking, when you put another function in there, you're going to lose volume or performance on the fan. People will get a fan heater combo, a fan light combo, a fan. Just don't do that. If you want a speaker and you want to hear music, get a good speaker that has a Bluetooth, and then you're going to get good music.
Take Alexa in there.
Yeah. So they can spy on you in the bathroom. Anyway, so I would definitely get a single function device for whichever one of those things you wanted.
And another comment about the ones with the Bluetooth speakers, it's just one more thing to go wrong. If you put the fans in, those last for a long time. Who knows what's going to happen with those Bluetooth, and you're going to have to be changing them. It just doesn't seem cost effective to me.
Yeah, 100%. I think that the jury's still out on that. So let's see how those turn out.
Yeah.
The next question is about wainscoting. Somebody wants to know, is wainscoting still popular? Should I consider it?
Really not as popular as it was before. Now, if you're doing like a freestanding tub, then yes, you can do a wainscot with tile. I don't get a lot of questions asking for the wainscoting anymore. Yeah.
I think on a freestanding tub, you definitely should have tile, like Wendy says,
Yeah.
behind it and around it. The thing is with the wainscoting, if it's wood and it's just painted, it's just not. If you use the tub a lot, you're going to get splash.
Yeah.
And if you've got, grandkids or young kids in there in the bathtub, they love making, splashing stuff around. So you're better off putting in some tile, and they can go crazy in there, and you're not going to worry about, ruining.
And the good news is now that if you want it to look like wood, then you get a wood look tile. Then you don't have to do wood.
100%.
The next question here, I think it's for Alex. Somebody wants to know, are marble countertops expensive? Are they hard to install? Anything I should know?
Marble countertops, yeah, they're expensive, 100%, and it's not the best surface to put in a sink and a vanity, especially because it gets used so much and it's the exposure to water. Marble has a lot, has trace minerals in it, and it'll get activated every time it gets wet. So I really just don't recommend putting that stuff in any of the areas that are exposed to water. As far as labor to fabricate it, it's about the same as like a quartz or quartzite, stuff like that. Now, if you wanted to use a natural stone, which I don't recommend for countertops, there's definitely better options that are harder than marble. That may be a better option to use.
The bathroom that we did with the steam bath, that is a quartzite that was on that tub and countertop. And the quartzite is a lot stronger and doesn't etch and stain like marble. It's not as porous.
So I guess I do want to also clear up one thing, Wendy. The white marbles are the ones that are a bit more problematic, because like the other bathroom that we did that had the dark marble, that's just part of the deal, right? So if the minerals activate in there, you're just going to get a warmer look. It's when you have a white, bone white stone, and it gets exposed to wood, and it just starts to turn into like a nightmare. There's also other issues that we've experienced with marble, where if it's exposed to, I remember we put actually this is not a stone that we installed. We repaired in a kitchen a marble countertop that they had put in an Instapot, one of those instant hot water things, and it would warm up the area around the stone. So when the stone would get hot, and then it was exposed to cold water, over time it started to open up the different layers of the stone. It was a nightmare. We had to take it apart, and we did some epoxy, and it looked okay, but it's just one of those things that there's much better materials, I think, for countertops in wet areas than white marble.
And I should probably explain a little bit that, because this confuses people when we say quartzite. Quartzite is a natural stone that's very hard. It looks like the one we did was white, and it looks like
this table's
marble.
quartzite.
Yeah, but people get confused between quartzite and quartz.
Correct.
Quartz is the man-made countertops that are very popular right now, where they crush up stone and they mix it with a resin, and that they create that. Quartzite is a natural. It comes from a big giant rock that they cut it out of. So.
Yeah, just like marble or granite or anything like that. They quarry it out of a big stone, and they polish it and shape it and polish it.
Yeah.
But the density of the material in there is harder.
Yes.
And then it's a little bit more resistant to some of these problems that we're talking about. That's cool. We had a good set of questions. We got anything else?
Yeah, we got one last question. Somebody wants to know about steam showers. They're asking, any special requirements for steam showers?
Well, I'll talk about the technical part, but what do you think when people are planning out a shower? What are some of the features you should have? Like a certain size, right? I don't know that you put a steam shower in a tiny little 3x3 or 4x4
right.
Shower.
Yeah, and then the other thing for steam showers is avoid any of the natural stones and do it on the ceiling and all the walls.
Yeah, you definitely have to have masonry everywhere. So the feedback that I could give that viewer is you want to have the steam shower be a certain size so you can get away from the steam nozzle, because it's spitting out steam. So that's one. Also, when the shower is a little bit bigger, if you want to cool off, you can actually turn the shower on and just kind of rinse yourself off a little bit and cool off, and you could stay there a little longer. So the requirements would be the unit itself is about $5,000, and then that'll include the hardware and the controls. You can have some kind of cool upgrades where you can have a remote unit, so you can start it from the outside, or you can actually use a remote from your bedroom and just turn it on if you know you're going to be in there in about. It takes about maybe 8 minutes, 10 minutes or something like that to like fully heat up. If you were to turn it on maybe 15 minutes before you go in, it's definitely going to be like when you go to the gym, where everything is warm inside of the shower. I think the two things: size, make sure you have lighting in there, and make sure that the place, you think about where you're going to put the steam nozzle so it's not in a place that's uncomfortable, because Sometimes when you're sitting, those steam units they're kind of lower to the ground, so they will kind of splatter on your leg, and it'll make it uncomfortable. You have to scooch away. So just kind of think about those things when you're planning it out.
And have a really good ventilation fan in the bathroom.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
so everything isn't wet outside the steam shower.
Yeah, and consider the fact that you're going to add probably, I don't know, 11, maybe even 15K to the deal. The steam unit, the install, the fact that you're going to have more masonry, you're going to have to tile in the ceiling. It's a lot more expensive to install that in the ceiling. You have to obviously find a place, and in some cases, build out a cubby to put the steam unit so you can hide it, but it has to be close enough to the shower that it makes sense. Also, the other component of it is, the other kind of trigger is, maybe sometimes you'll put in 2 vent fans, and you also want to make sure you have lighting inside of the steam unit. Now, hey, some people they'll go in there with the lights off, but I think it's totally a good idea to have light. You can control the light. I mean, you can even put it on a dimmer if you wanted to. So the steam unit also adds, or the steam shower feature also adds additional cost for your shower enclosure. It's way more expensive. I mean, it's like double. The shower, I've seen some shower enclosures that are like $5,000. So 5, maybe even 6,000. It depends on how big it is. If you have some of these steam shower units we put in were like 4.5 feet by 8 feet. So you have a lot of glass. You could have $10,000 worth of glass there. So those are some of the things to consider. You're not going to be able to put this in for $2,000. So it's kind of cool. All right, so let's move on. That was the last question, right, Brian? So just want to highlight a little bit of next week's show. We have Carlos from Simpson Strong Tie as our guest, and we're going to be talking about retrofits, bolt down, and some of the history behind how Simpson Strong Tie developed the systems to bolt down houses. So if you want to learn more about anything that's remodeling related, please go to our website, baycitiesconstruction.com. We've spent a ton of energy, time, and money creating all of this content for you so you can be a better informed consumer of construction services. So there's hundreds of articles under our blog page. If you go on our website, go under resources, and you'll see the little blog articles drop-down list there. Bay Cities Construction, it's your place to go. If you want to watch more cool videos on some of the previous videos that we've done or future videos, please go to YouTube. We have a pretty nice little library of videos there, and we continue to do more videos. We're going to come up with a cool series of videos also with Casey, our project manager. He's going to talk about some of the practical aspects of building these projects out once Wendy is done designing them. So anyway, this is all resources for you. It's totally free, and it's so that you have a better idea of what it's going to take to build out your dream project. So check it out when you can. It's YouTube.com/Bay Cities Construction. That's our YouTube channel. And please subscribe and post some comments. It tells the algorithm that the content that you're watching is good and important and relevant. If you want to learn more about our background and stuff, I've been doing this for a long time, about 16 years now, and we operate from Manhattan Beach all the way down to Dana Point. So we've added last year we added Orange County to our service area, and we're really here to help. If you guys have any questions about doing a project or what it's going to take, if you're in the design phase of it, if you need help, Wendy is here to help you figure out the design. Me and Casey will help you figure out what it's going to cost and what it's going to take to get done. And please, if you haven't done so already, check out our reviews, the reviews that people have done for us on Houzz and Yelp and stuff like that. So that's out there. You can see the kind of reputation that we've developed over the years. And please, remind you again, just like and subscribe and post your comments. Love you for being here watching our show, and thank you very much for the questions and for commenting. So look forward to the next show. We're putting these out every week. So please stay tuned, and look forward to seeing you in the next show. Bye-bye. It's 2022. Now's the time to get started designing your kitchen and bathroom remodel. You don't have to do this alone. Bay Cities Construction can help. Our team of design pros can help you with everything you need. Call Bay Cities Construction at 888-881-7355. Let Bay Cities Construction transform your house into a home you'll love. Book your free consultation online at baycitiesconstruction.com. My name's Alex Rodriguez, reminding you, you don't need a contract. You need a team of pros.